The importance of any story is what is it trying to teach you. I'm awesome, and I'll always be awesome. So these are a part of me. If I choose not to value my own culture, then I would have a conflict with who I am. Ron Geronimo. Fauna Autumn.
Yo! What up? Welcome to another vlog. My name is Mr. Ryan. For those of you that are new, welcome to my channel. And today we're going on another adventure and a little exploring while we're gonna be down there. We're gonna be making a trip down to southern Arizona region. And right now I'm at the parking lot of Fry's Food and Drug Store. Kind of like our version of a Kroger's or a Smith's, I think, if that's the right grocery store I'm thinking about. But anywho, I picked me up some stuff because when I'm traveling, I try to budget in whatever I'm eating, because sometimes I don't want to be stopping at every freaking gas station trying to say, oh, I'm hungry, I gotta stop somewhere, I'm hungry, I need some snackies. No. First I stopped at Fry's and I picked me up some things. I'm gonna show you guys what I got first. I'm gonna chew on these right here. Apricots, they're really cheap and they're dried too, so kind of healthy too. They're not healthy all the way, so I try to limit my intake on apricots. Not too much, but just about a good amount to curb the hunger. Let me see. Oh yeah, these are here. I actually discovered these last time I went hiking to Tonto National Monument. I discovered these and these are really good. They're called pure organic layered fruit bars made with real juice, purees and juices. So yeah, I got this right here and I'm gonna go ahead and take this with me. I don't normally finish all of this, so I still got some leftovers from last time, but I want to give this one a try. The last one I tried was raspberry lemonade, I think, and this one's strawberry banana. And finally, of course, you can't forget the granola bars. Love the chocolate. Not too much, but I try to only eat 1 or 2 a day, but these are really good too. So whenever I go out traveling, I always pack some snackies with me before I head out, because like I said, time is of the essence. So I always try to get as much traveling and as much exploring as I can in one day. So that's what I got going on. And I got me some yerba mate right here. If you guys don't know and you're new to my channel, I love me some yerba mate. Got me some water and I'm about to head out here in a bit. So right now I'm just making my intro right now, getting comfortable, and now we're about to head out on the open road. So let's go. Tumacacori National Historic Park. So we're here. We're gonna go ahead and check it out. No hiking, so it's gonna be a historical park. So we're gonna go check out this national park today. So let's go, everyone. Let's go. Okay, our first plaque, and we're not even inside yet. So this is gonna say Mission San Jose do Tumacacori, Mission San Jose de Tumacacori. I might be saying that right, but you're welcome to correct me. His Jesuit missionary Escobedo Francisco Kino first visited Tumacacori in January of 1691. The mission was one of more than 20 established by Kino in the area, known by the Spanish as Primavera Alta. A mission was much more than a church. It was an entire community designed to teach European ways of life to the people living on the lands claimed by Spain. Missions included farmlands as well as workshops and homes. Over time, the landscape and culture transformed around the 1800s. Residents of Tumacacori began building the church that stands here today. And we're going to go and check it out. So we're going to go see that. And I guess these are the different types of things that people can do here. We're going to look at the gardens, and hopefully they'll be able to do like a demonstration. If not, then that's cool. We're going to explore the museum, and hopefully we'll see that bird. We'll see if we can try and catch it too. Just kidding. But yeah, everyone, we're going to go check out this National Historic Park. And of course, it's open daily, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Entrance fee, $10 per person unless you have a card, and National Park Services. But see, look at the door. It's pretty cool. So we're going to go check it out. Of course, it is called Tumacacori National Historic Park. So, of course, again, mask optional. In some places, you have to wear a mask, but we're going to put ours on. So, let's go. All right, so far, this is a pretty cool place, and the water fountain, and they even have these cool signs right here. So we're gonna go check out the garden, and they have a movie playing, so we're gonna check that out later. And the guy gave me like a loaner map, and he told me to check out everything here, so that's what I'm gonna do. And man, it's really nice out. Let's check out this fountain though really quick. No coins in the fountain, please. It's really nice though. But man, it's really big, I can tell. So we're gonna go ahead and explore out a little bit more. So let's go. All right, so this is like an enclosed area. So we're gonna check out this church on the way out, but we're gonna go ahead and circle all the way around and check out the whole area. So let's go, man, let's go. But so far, this is like a really brisk walk, and if you ever hear, the guy says it's gonna be about a mile out, so not very long. And he said it's a magical place, so we're gonna see how magical this place is. So let's go. All right, our second plaque, the Orchard, a Mission Essential. It's pretty cool. And it says, in various places they planted a considerable number of these trees and produce pomegranates, peaches, apricots, quinces, figs, lemons, and oranges. These fruits are superior in size, juiciness, sweetness, and flavor to those which are grown in Europe. Ignace Preferian Corn, 1725. So we're gonna go for a walk in the veranda. Hey. See, traditional orchard of Sonora. Dang, some pomegranates sound good though. And ripened peaches, figs, the quince fruit of Oracle, Arizona. And see, from this map right here, from 1691 to 1767, missions and vistas in Primavera Alta. See, there's one in Tucson, San Xavier de Blanc,
Arabica, Tumacacori, that's where we're at. Calabasas, Genevalvi, Sonora, San Maria, Cosperita, Lemurs. Yeah, there's a lot of different missions all across both Arizona and Mexico. Let's read just a little bit of this. A large fruit orchard and gardens were planted on this site to help supply the mission's food far from cities and regular commerce. The mission community needed to be nearly self-sufficient. Raising domestic animals and planting extensive gardens and orchards were essential to survival. With the arrival of Europeans, new species of fruit trees from the Mediterranean, Asia, Europe were brought to New Spain. Missionaries carried these trees to missions in Sonora and eventually here in Tumacacori. The original 4.6 acres orchard was surrounded by a high adobe wall to protect trees and crops from hungry animals, both domestic and wild. Water was brought from Santa Cruz River by an Acequinta irrigation ditch in which connected the stream from 1.5 miles to the south. So let's take a look at this right here. So this is the river that they're talking about. So I'm guessing somewhere right here there's like a irrigation ditch that carried the water from there to there. So we're gonna go check this place out. Go check out this orchard. Heritage fruit trees. And it says during the mission's restoration, an adobe brick crumbled apart and 2 ancient peach pits rolled out. This simple action sparked a dream to restore the mission's orchard on its original grounds. The trees needed to be fruit varieties that would have grown at the mission. Trees descended from the mission orchards, if such trees still existed in Arizona and Sonora. The trees you see growing before you are results of this dream. So there's pictures of that right there. The original fruit trees. The people who did the groundbreaking in 2007. The participants at their original groundbreaking. The trees ready for planting and planting the first trees. And here are the few trees that were selected for the mission. The era during which the mission was at its peak, I suppose. Apples, apricots, figs, olives, peach, pear, plum, pomegranate, quince, lima, and oranges. So yeah, we're gonna look around here, see what they have growing here. It's not that small. I mean, it's not that big, but it's a decent size for a mission. So we're gonna take a look around, see what we can find. Man, this is pretty cool. I think when I came in, I did not expect this. Over the walls, I didn't even see any of this, so it's pretty cool walking from the inside and seeing all of this, man. Pretty cool. All right, we found a plaque. Let's see what it says. Lime kiln. Vast quantities of white limestone plaster were needed to cover the church buildings and walls that made Tumacacori a shining light in the desert. For a brief time, a peaceful mission community where priests and their converts worked and worshiped together. The quarrying, transporting, and burning of limestone was probably a major undertaking involving many workers. Since this size of kiln can produce only a small amounts of burning limestone, it was probably used to maintain or patch small surfaces. From the smoke sides of evidence of glaze, it is submerged that the arch opening was used to stoke the fires from the lower sides, and the lip probably supported a metal grate with a
fire below and stones above. No records exist indicating where the limestone was quarried. The Santa Rita Mountains to the north are 25 miles away, or where the kilns to burn large amounts of limestone were located. You know what? This is pretty cool. So this is the limestone that they're talking about. See if you zoom in from the sides right there. Pretty cool. So they made this material from the outer walls right here, from right there, and the church we saw coming in. So we're gonna check it out a little bit more. So let's go, let's go, let's go. So I'm guessing there used to be like a building right here, and I looked at my book right here, and it says, although commonly confused with the term of convent, Tumacacori convento had nothing to do with housing for nuns. The convento was an operational part of the mission. It functioned as a shared community workspace and governmental center. It would have been alive with the sound of people talking, working, and moving about. So yeah, there used to be like a building right here. I'm guessing it's no longer here. And it says the rooms aligned in a U shape around the central courtyard along the north wing, where the raised mount is still visible today. Archaeological evidence suggests a kitchen, ironworkers shop, carpentry shop, weaving room, leather shop, and grain grinding mill. The storeroom is all that remains of the west row of the convento. The south wing includes priestesses' quarters, other office space, and an arch entrance in the interior courtyard. The central courtyard was likely planted with trees, ornamental flowers, and medicines and edible plants. An arcade, a covered walkway lined the arches, and buildings and benches ran into the front rooms. It would have been a shady, inviting, and pleasant place to meet and greet one's neighbors. The arcade and courtyard of the garden visitor centers were built to replicate the experience. So yeah, there used to be something here, but it is no longer here. And let's see, for its OnnaLynn residents, the mission's convento may have been a place where tradition and change clashed. A host of new tools, technology, and food source had become available. Instead of yucca or cotton fibers, a weave could use wool. Instead of bone or stone, it could craft tools from metal. But adapting these changes came at a social and cultural cost. So yeah, the people that were in the Mission and the OnnaLynn tribe, their cultures clash, but here they live together and exchange ideas and trade. Pretty cool. So we're gonna go check out these other places right here. Please stay off the steps. And there's an indication right here. And let's look at our book. It says the storeroom. And let's read through it. The storeroom's two-story structure was the tallest part of the convento complex. Its wide staircase led to an upper level, which was supported by heavy pine beams, as you can see right there, hauled from the heights of the Santa Rita Mountains. The large beams were in turn supported by two thick adobe pliers. On the right side of the doorway are depressions where large clay jars filled with seed and grain were stored for next season's crops. So I'm guessing that's it right over there, where the holes are, and it's pretty cool. The storeroom surpluses and deficiencies were the measure of the success or failure of the mission. A well-stocked storeroom allowed the purchase of clothing and other resources. Empty shelves signaled stress. So basically, if you had a packed storeroom, you're all Gucci. But if it was empty, with nothing but crumbs left and your SOL. The storeroom also embodied the community's new European style of corporate hierarchy in contrast with the To'onaom's consensus-based government. Harvested food would be collected here, then distributed on a weekly basis. However, the gatekeeper to the storeroom could withhold access, making food contingent on the following missions rule. So basically, a guy would guard this, and then he would restrict access to anyone, you know, like, nope, you can't come in here, nope, nope, nope. So these are the I'm guessing these are replicas of the jars that they used to use back then. But let's read the surplus thing right here. Another plaque. The priestesses and their covenant labored long and hard to make Tumacacori mission self-sufficient with enough food to last the winter and help others less fortunate. The seeds, livestock and fruit cuttings brought by the priestess flourished in the fertile valley, and Pimas quickly learned the new farming techniques. Agricultural tools to plant and harvest the fields and orchards were kept in these two-level storage rooms, along with the cured hide, wool from livestock, cotton, grains, and other foods. The best seeds from each harvest of grain, beans, and fruits were stored in large clay pots. These ones right here. Let's see. Probably placed in the round depressions on the benches lining the walls and used for next year's planting. Yeah, so they stored seeds in here where the depressions are. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's see. Converted Pimas were assigned the responsible position of dispensing food for daily use, farming tools, and seeds for planting. So what I'm guessing is the people that were in position of dispensing food on a daily basis also guard this room and be like, nope, you're only allowed to get this much, and they were the holder of the storeroom. So yeah, that's the storeroom. Pretty cool. But as it said, you know, this was like a 2-story place, so I'm guessing over time the top half collapsed. So let's move on to our next section. And we're here at our next section, the cemetery. All right, let's see what it says. The To'onaom and the neighbors that had complex traditions for burial. The dead were dressed well, often provided with some personal items, buried in a cavity and covered with rocks. The To'onaom would sometimes burn items that had belonged to a person who died, and would ask the dead to remain at peace, not come back and disturb the living. A blend of traditional and Catholic beliefs and ceremonies continues among the To'onaom today. So we're gonna be cautious and just walk around. You know, we're not gonna walk over there, but we're gonna continue going on and reading what we find here. A 14-inch wall surrounding the cemetery would have held paintings or sculptures of Catholic stations of crosses. Station of the Cross. In the center lies a round Mortuary Chapel. The plan may have been to cover the round building with a dome. A family might have spent time with their deceased loved one in this room before burial. So I'm guessing this is what it is. I was wondering what this is. Pretty nice though. Look at the carvings on top. Really detailed. Let's read this plaque really quick. Cemetery. This plot of the ground was laid by missionaries as a holy place where their growing numbers of converts could be buried. But after the priests left, treasure hunters vandalized their graves and cattle were corralled here. No markers remain of these early graves. So where it's kind of empty right here, I'm guessing that's where people were buried, and You see way over there, there are some remnants of head markers and headstones over there. So it's amazing how all this was built back then and people were buried here. So we're gonna walk around this thing real quick. Oh, I guess you can, I'm not gonna go inside, but this is what they were talking about. Let's see what's on this side. I'm guessing this is where more people were buried. I do not know, but this is the outer lining of the wall they were talking about. So let's check out the next section of the area. Okay, let's go check it out on the inside. See what it looks like, see what it looks like. Ooh. Too cool. Well, another plaque, the sacristy. Let's see. And it's on my book. It says, the sacristy served as a priestess's office. It housed the holy vestments and other objects for mass. A priest would have spent many hours working by candlelight in this room, documenting the important events of the day, such as baptisms, marriages, and deaths. The mission's records are a treasure trove of information, but required some skill to interpret. They were handwritten with quill pen and now antique Spanish. Personal details, especially from a perspective of a woman, to Odaom, Yokum, and Nadi community members are difficult to extract. So yeah, they kept personal records here of important information. And let's continue on. Whoa. Oh, dang, that's pretty cool. You can tell by the pillars, really cool and detailed. Let's see. The splendor above the sanctuary was the most holy part of the church, containing an altar from the communion ritual and reserved for priests and their acolytes. Bringing paintings and statues hung from the walls, while the dome sparkled with colorful designs drawn by Pima artisans. This resplendence helped focus the congregation's attention on the sanctuary. So, man, I bet that would have looked nice back in the heyday. And it says, in the ceilings you can see only remnants of the brilliant colors and original designs that once blazed across it. Notice the friezes of stenciled flower patterns in the east-west wall and many small designs circling the bases of the dome. And the oh man, I'm tired. In the center of the arches, compass drawn circles enclose tiny freehand designs and horizontal bands on each side containing other scrolls of work patterns. So that's pretty cool. And that's what they're talking about. The stenciled in designs. It's pretty cool. And let's see. The dim interior, bright paintings and decoration ceremonies and music help priestesses establish the church as a sacred place where only the converted could understand its mysteries. That's pretty cool. And here's a picture of what it might have looked like back then. I wonder if they use real gold for those parts. That was pretty cool how it looked like back then. So that was once this whole thing right here. My guess is that was gold or maybe like marble, because you can see it looked like it was ripped out of the wall on top. Oh man, I didn't even see that too. Like an intricate design. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look right here on what it looked like. Oh man, you can see how nice it looked back then. And let's take a look at this right here. And it says, the glory of God. The priest's first responsibility in founding a new mission was to build a church. Well, the Jesuits first arrived at Tumacacori. They held worship services in simple brush shelters and eventually replaced them with masonry, flat roof buildings. So before they got started, they started out small and eventually they built their way up. Let's take a look at this one right here. But man, it looked nice back then. Let's take a look at this music one. Let's see. Oh, okay. It says choir loft. Facing the front door of the church, you can see where the choir loft once stood. Notice the entrance to the balcony high on the left wall and the ruins based of the two pillars that supported the arch below. Yeah, so I guess it was right there. See the arch right there and the entrance of the doorway. See, there's an arch right there, and there used to be like a choir area right there. And I'm guessing that's where they go up the stairs right here and they climb in on top. Let's go check this little area out. It's all dark. I'm all scared. Help me. Help me. Hey. Just kidding. Be serious. Baptismal room contained the front where infants and adults were converted to Catholicism and were baptized. I wonder what it says in the book. Let's see. All right, it says Baptismary. To the right of the church entrance is a small room where baptisms were performed. The room is composed of dry adobe walls, 9 feet thick walls with an interior rock core which supported the bell tower above. The stairway inaccessible for visitors. Leads to the choir loft, robing room, and beyond to the bell tower to the roof. So, can't go there. It says confined space, authorized personnel only. So that right there leads up to the bell tower. That's really cool. Getting a little humid in here, but it's really nice. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So you can see the doors. really intricate pattern too, right there, and really cool. Let's go. Okay, we made it to the museum. Always changing, forever the same. Siempre capindo para siempre la misa. I might have read that wrong, but I'm trying. It says Santa Cruz Valley is a land where cultures meet and mix. Its timeless mountains and lowlands have endured unchanging throughout the human occupation. But the people living on the land have always been in constant change. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna check this out just a bit. When I walked in, this first caught my eye. Minerals and plants were gathered and ground into pigments using stones such as this one decorated with the carved snake. Let's see, that's pretty cool. And of course, let's see. All to make holes in leather and wood making from a deer leg bone. So yeah, so they used to make all that stuff. And arrowheads too. And let's see. Stone mescal knife used for removing the outer spiny leaves of the agave. And if you guys don't know what agave is, it's that plant right there they make tequila with. So it's pretty cool. And the original pestle and mortar still used to this day. Pretty cool. And it's called a Gairori crusher used to grind mesquite beans pods into coarse flour, which then can be made further refined with the mono or medite. It's pretty cool. And right here, mesquite beans were so important to the native diet that 2 months of the To'ona'om calendar were named for the stages of the tree's life cycle. And I am not gonna read that. Mesquite leafing out moon, April, and mesquite flowers moon, May. So that's pretty cool. Dang, the javelina. I don't know what that tastes like. Javelina is also known as collateral, pecaries, fine food, and shelter beneath trees of the mesquite bosque. I don't see any pictures of the trees, but that's okay. Before missionaries brought metal tools, wood was cut using stone axe heads. It's pretty cool. Quails, dang. I don't know what quails taste like too. Large family and group of convoys of gamble quails hunt for seeds, leaves, fruits, insects, and all environmental zones of the Santa Cruz Valley. Man, it'd be nice to see one of those. Strips taken from pods of devil claw vine provided dark colored for basket patterns. It's pretty cool. Oh, what's this? Prehistoric bird and horned lizards effigies made from volcanic rock. Very detailed though. Pretty cool. And of course, the river El Rio. The river is a lifeblood of the region, forming a rich and diverse corridor called riparian area. The availability of water determined the location of population centers. So of course, people go where the water is. Because in this area, there was water, there were flash floods during the monsoon season, there was some wetlands, and then of course it got dry. So in this area, it's a little unpredictable.
farming agriculturals. 2 prehistoric farming systems developed in this region. The Trincherias people built terraces on bajas, while the Ho'oponopono dug elaborate irrigation canals in the valley rivers. It's pretty cool. Digging sticks were used for planting and cultivating corn, beans, squash, devil claws, agave, and chilechitan peppers. And a cooking pot. And it says the Sonoran Desert has 5 distinct and dynamic seasons for who all lived here. Plants, animals, and human survival has always depended on the ability to adapt in extreme conditions. So you got autumn, you got winter, spring, dry early summer, and wet late season. Kind of like during summer, late summer, monsoon season. And oh, here we go. Trying to look for this right here. The To'oda home. Possibly descendants of the Ho'oponopono, the To'oda were living and farming here when the Spanish arrived. An agricultural people, they grew crops on the floodplain seasonally and hunted and gathered in the mountains and bajas. It's a depiction of what they think they look like back then. And let's see. The To'oda lived in semi-mobile lifestyles following the seasons. Although life centered around a farming village in the summer, those locations also tended to change from year to year depending on the amount of water in the river. Those are the baskets they did back in the day. The baskets they made, and the housing made out of clay, and the pottery plants. And here's something I've never seen before. It says, to those who call themselves To'oda, which means people in the Pima language, were living and farming here before other indigenous people and the Spaniards arrived, calling themselves Yo'om, which means people in their language. The Yaquis came from Tumacacori from the south, and from the northeast came those calling themselves Indi, which also means people in the Apache language. So let's take a look at this right here. See, there's To'oda, Pima, the Yo'om, the Yaqui, and the Indi Apache. So I guess you can click on these and hear the different languages. So we're gonna go ahead and, it's in English right now, so we'll push English.
This place, and then the last 2 days they will have a big.
So let's change it to To'oda home. Then we're going to change it to the next one, Yaqui. So we're going to change it to English.
My name is Jenny Murrieta. I am Yaqui. My native language is Yaqui. Well, they would call me Juanita or Juana. I was born right on St. John's Day. A typical.
So now we're going to change the language to Yaqui.
Jenny Murrieta te Indonesia. Indonesia, yo am Noctanoka. Into what Intone Juanita te o ne Juana te. Ne pone sanghon tapo yo yepsak. Upaco.
And we're going to change the last one to English, Apache. Then we're going to change the language to Apache. So let's try.
This is a song that's for
I don't know if you can hear it, but it's in Apache. So we're gonna change the language to Apache.
She, Chesley Wilson Sr. was there. St. Carlos Apache, and St. Carlos was a lineage here. On Nina, she had T Apache. Apache be a T by a stick. See, or a otter, or they are slept by or a tatty here. The violin like day. Because not scanning here, I all day.
So that's all I'm gonna put for now, but that's pretty interesting. The first museum ever, or a national monument museum I've ever been to, and you can translate the person, they'll say it in English, and they'll introduce themselves in English. There's one in Spanish, and of course their native language. And of course there's Pima, the Yaqui, and the Apache. So it's pretty cool. First time I've ever seen that before. A really old picture. And let's see, the To'oraum lived in Santa Cruz Valley for hundreds of years. An agricultural people, they often welcome new ideas, methods sought by the Spaniards and other newcomers. However, sometimes extreme differences between cultures cause intense stresses in their traditional way of life. So that's really interesting. And this is the To'oraum territory. And as you can see, it stretches from southern Arizona all the way almost into Mexico, where the Sonoran River is, and near Hermislo. I might have said that wrong, but I'm giving it a try. Yeah, very, very, very interesting. And this is supposed to be the To'onaum's territory, but as you can see, the reservation they were put in, less than half, not even minuscule of how it's supposed to be. But yeah, it's crazy. And the Yaqui originated in southern Sonora nearby the Yaqui River. They traveled widely and probably came to Santa Cruz Valley well before the arrival of the Spaniards. With the arrival of the Spaniards, the Yaqui recognized opportunities to work as freighters, cowboys, and miners, and came to this area in large numbers. They continued to live here ever since. Dang, it looks like a Japanese kabuki mask. Let's see. Masks used historically and presently in the traditional Yaqui dances. Interesting. And it's pretty cool. And it says right here, the Yaqui territory. And let's see. Historic Yaqui territory. So as you can see, it's like southern Mexico, like way down there. And it says villages today. So their villages is like right here and like right outside of Tucson. And we're right here, so it's like way outside of Tucson, and the other one's right here, right above the border of Mexico and Arizona. And this guy, Father Kino, and there's like a little biography thing about him right here. It says in 1687, Father Kino, an Italian-born Jesuit, was sent to establish missions in the Primavera Alta, which he did with dedication until his death 24 years later. Loved by those he taught, his legacy is treasured among the To'onaum even to this day. But man, there's a lot of missions around southern Arizona. Pretty cool. And we're right here, of course. The Apache. The Apache is some of whom were raiders, came from as far as north as Canada, arriving about the same time as the Spanish. These raiders found the growing mission system within its stationary communities to their liking. In 1695, Apaches destroyed Gablum Pintia 50 miles from here, and their forays never let up until 1885 when Geronimo made his last raid in Peck Canyon 4 miles south of here. Huh. Those are the baskets they did back in the day. And of course their shoes back then, their version of moccasins, I suppose. And Apache territory. Back then it was really big, look at that. So the reservation today is within that little box, but it used to be bigger back then. Crazy. And let's see, it says items that were used by the Apache. Apache beat it bag, basket human figures, geometric designs, oval with geometric designs, moccasins, buckskin. So this is it right here. And it's all in Spanish, can't read that. One of many Apaches attack recorded in the annals of the mission as followed. June 5 and 6, 1801, Juan Crespo, Felix Gerardo, and Jose Parriquito were killed in an Apache siege at Tumacacori. And it says, there was no time to provide any sacraments, nor was there any way to get them back because the Apaches were lying in wait for the people to come outside. It was like this until the afternoon of the 6th when the said the villagers were reinforced. When the soldiers and residents were able to unite after 2 days, the Apaches retreated and their bodies were retrieved and buried in certification in which I signed on and said, 2nd day, month, and year above. Friar Narisco Gutierrez, Minister for His Majesty. And of course that's in Spanish. Can't read that. So yep, here's the museum. Dang, they got pictures. And it says, without modern antibiotics and vaccines, disease and epidemics routinely struck both Europe and the New World in the 18th century. However, European diseases new to America decimated the indigenous populations. The two main killers in the Primavera Alta were smallpox and measles. So yeah, it's a picture depiction. And it says, families were devastated by the deaths of vast numbers of small and infant children. It says, although available remedies had little effect, mourners such as this were used to grind medicinal herbs and pulsates, teas, and salves which could ease suffering. So not only for cooking, but also for medicines. And here's a little ledger of recorded history about smallpox and information about it. And it says, more people died of smallpox in the summer of 1751 than in the Pima uprising that fall. Father Garicho recorded 26 smallpox deaths at Juvalsi and Santotic. On the page to the left. At the bottom of the page, 2 years later, Father Poehler recorded that the uprising had occurred. So this is like a ledger and a little record of all the people that died then. And at the bottom right here, it was saying he recorded an uprising that occurred. Very interesting. And here's a depiction of what the church might have looked like back in its heyday.
Okay, we got done at the National Monument / Historical Park, or National Historic Park, I guess that's what it's called. But right now I am pulling up on a border crossing, so we're gonna see how this goes, and I'm gonna use my Navajo Nation ID, see if they accept it or not. So let's see. Let's hope, man. Let's hope. Yep. Well, I guess I'm Gucci. I don't gotta pull out my ID or anything. So, yep, just to be aware, there's a border crossing between Tucson and the National Monument on that. So, be on your best behavior, folks.
Alright, we're here at the San Xavier Bac de la Mission. So we're here to check it out, and we're gonna go from there. Pretty cool place, and we're gonna take a closer look. Let's go. Alright, here's the church. A little closer up, and very detailed. So it says we're in a place of prayer, so no food, drinks, no photos during mass, turn off cell phones, so remove the hat. So we're just gonna stay outside and hang out for a bit, so we're gonna see what we can find here. So let's go. Alright, I seen this from the road. Time to go for a quick hike. Looks pretty interesting, so let's go. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Alright, well, I guess there's no trail leading up there, so it's just a wrap around the whole hill. And there's a sacred place on the other side, but I didn't feel comfortable vlogging that, so it's just like a little wrap around the hill. Pretty cool. Whoa, almost tripped. But yeah, Let's make our way back down. Let's go, Dan. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we're here in Tucson, and we're gonna get us a nice Sonoran Dog from El Quiero Kenlo. And this is where Mark Weins went on one of his food adventures. So I'm gonna go here and try me a nice Sonoran Dog. So let's go, everyone. Really cool, really cool. That's the guy who started it since 1993. Dang, everything looks all good. A nice hot dog, that's what I'm here for, and let's go check it out. Dine in, now open, so let's go inside. All right, I got me 2 carne asada tacos. I got me a nice Sonoran Dog, and of course, I don't drink soda, but what's a little Coke hurt anybody? And shout out to OnnaLynn for keeping me company while I'm in Tucson. And I'm about to dig in, and this is the restaurant. Really chill, really laid back, and they were closed at first, and now they're open back up for dining. And if you want to do drive-through, they even do drive-through here, so come check them out. If you guys want to know where this is at, I'll put the link in the description. In the meantime, I'm gonna dig in. Shout out to OnnaLynn. Okay, before I dig in, a lot of people have been asking me what the heck a Sonoran Dog is. So basically, a Sonoran Dog is depending on what kind of hot dog you get. For me, the Sonoran Dog I got was a Sammy Dog, which has 2 hot dogs in there. And the hot dog is put inside this bun. Then on top of that, the hot dog is wrapped in bacon. So for this one, I got 2 hot dogs wrapped in bacon, and they got tomatoes, onions, and they got dressing on there. So that's exactly what a Sonoran Dog is, and you can tell it's a Sonoran Dog because it's put in this little bread.
Shout out Gallo.
So man, I'm about to dig in.
Yeah, shout out Gallo.
Yo, good morning. I forgot to close out my vlog. It is actually the next day. I'm gonna show you guys my haul I got yesterday. So the first thing is, of course, I went down to Tumacacori National Historic Park, and I got the stamp here. So I'm gonna show you guys the stamp first. So here's the stamp I got with it. Shows the building, a little informational background about it. And of course, I got the stamp of the date of where I went, or when I went, my bad. I got that right there. And of course, I got my travel stamp booklet right here. And I got the Tumacacori National Historic Park stamp. So right here, see? So it has the stamp right there. Has a stamp number, and even has the place of where it's located. So it says Arizona right here, and of course it gives like a little miniature background about the area I went. So I was really excited about that. So that was my haul for yesterday, but I also mentioned on the live and on one of my other vlogs I was gonna start a scrapbook and put the stickers for the places I went, and I've got it. So I'm gonna show you guys really quick. And this is my scrapbook, really big. You can buy this on Amazon. So what I'm gonna do is, if you guys wanna buy a scrapbook like this, I'll put the link in the description of the video. Also, I'll also put the collector's edition the collector's edition passport book in the description. So let me show you guys exactly what I was talking about. All right, so national parks are starting to make different types of informational stamps. So it has a place, and it gives like a little miniature background about the national park. And also each national park, they sell their own variety of stickers. So this one's Montezuma Castle, and see, look, pretty cool. So I got that one, and let me show you the other one. And this is the one I got yesterday. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 national parks on 2 pages, and this is the second one I got started on already. So this is the one this is where I went yesterday. Tumacacori National Park, and there's that church, and here's a little miniature background, and of course here's the sticker. And this one right here was Casa Grande Ruins. See, it has its own sticker, and a little informational background and the place I went to. And this is Tonto National Monument, which I went to last weekend. And there's its own sticker too. If you guys can see it. You can see me. But yeah, this is it's the scrapbook I started. And then right here, I'm gonna be putting the dates of where I went to each one of these national parks. I know it's the same thing as the other one, but I wasn't able to find a place where I can put the cool stickers, so that's what I'm gonna start doing now. So yep, there's my scrapbook. And my collector's edition national park, and dropped you guys. And the stamp book. So I think that's it for now. This weekend was really fun. There was a restaurant I was going to go to where they hang the meat in the air and they air dry the meat. I don't know how they do that, but it sounds really interesting. Next time I'm gonna check that out, and there's so many historical places I wanted to go check out, but I couldn't fit it all into one vlog, so dropped you guys again. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a second revisit to Tucson. But in the meantime, I think I'm out and I think I covered everything, so catch you guys on the next vlog. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm out.
How can I dream if I never wake?
I'm pretty sure all your grandmas and all your older relatives were like, man, that guy is really handsome. I wish I could marry him and ride off into the sunset with that horse. Hey. I'm trying to edit my video and this cat won't leave me alone. Yeah, the